Good morning. I'm Roxana Luster, and I'll be serving as your worship assistant today. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Savannah. Our minister, Reverend Lisa Day, is our worship leader this morning. Our worship, religious education, and covenant group theme for November is the practice of repair. It's been quite a week in Savannah, and I think going into this theme is really, really good. We had pride festivals, art festivals, just all kinds of festivals and things to do, and we watched people vote. We've driven people to the polls. Sometimes I think elections should be over. I voted. But it's all the more reason why we value being here. Here we can relax. Here we are safe. Here we can breathe. We are working to build a diverse, multicultural, and beloved community. We celebrate the presence and participation of people of all races, genders, sexual orientations, abilities, ethnic, and national origins. We warmly welcome you on YouTube and on site, whoever you know yourself to be, and wherever you are on your journey. If you're visiting with us this morning, we'd like you to introduce yourself. Jane Rago is in charge of the microphone. So if you would raise your hand, she will come bring the microphone to you so that you can tell us who you are and where you're from. There's somebody right there, a brave soul.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sebastian. I'm a master craftsman here in Savannah. I make saxophone mouthpieces. Been doing that almost over 7 years now. Been coming here every once in a while, but it's been a while since I came back, so want to come back.
Welcome. Do we have anybody else on this side? Do we have anyone on this side who's visiting or relatively new, or would just like to say hi and introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Gary Koch. This is my wife, Doege. We had some very good friends, the Mulherons, that moved from here up to South Carolina, and they recommended that we attend here and see the joy and the happiness that goes on. We're from Richmond Hill, and we're glad to be here. Thank you.
Welcome. Anyone else on this side? It's good to have you all with us. Please join us in Ron Hall after the service. That is where we have coffee, and good conversation. You can go through this door, you can go out the front and go around, follow the crowd, or the ushers will show you the way. After our children's story in a little bit, and after the offering, we sing. After the offering and the children's story, we sing a short response. The lyrics are printed in the order of worship. There are 2 cards in the back of the pew in front of you that help us gather information. The first one, if you're new and you would like to be on our mailing list, that's really the way to find out what's going on in the church. On Tuesdays and Fridays, we get email blasts, and I'm going to give you a short little list of things that are announcements today, but really, if you want to know what's going on, look at our newsletter or sign this card, and our minister will greet you with a letter. If you have joys and concerns, the one with the red heart, the chalice. I know everybody's concerned about the election. You really don't have to say that one. We're just going to assume we're all concerned. In fact, I'll get to the announcements right now. If you would like to learn more about our church, we have classes. There's the one class, and it's just a one-time thing, from 10 to 2:30 on November the 9th. If that is not a convenient time for you, November 23rd. We need at least 5 people to set up the class. But again, you can go on our newsletter or email blast, and if you'd like to come around, you can hear more about it at the coffee hour. Our second Music Alliance concert will be at 3 p.m. on Sunday the 17th with Patty Kelly and the Mild-Mannered Men, including Bill Smith, our own, who's on the guitar. And this will be paying tribute to the female voices of the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Tickets are $25 on Eventbrite. And Kevin has mentioned the green team. Thanks to all who are stepping up to drive people to the polls. We've had people driving people to the polls all week. We have more people signed up on Tuesday, and you probably, if you want to talk to Kevin, you can get the name of the person to call if you'd like to continue to do that, or do it for the first time. We also have the Savannah Band Books Club. We'll meet Thursday, November 7th from 3:30 to 5:30 in Ron Hall to discuss 1984 by George Orwell. With the lighting of our chalice, symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith, we enter into a sacred time. Our chalice lighter this morning is Katie Hay Leo. Our Unitarian heritage bids us light our chalice in the name of freedom, in the light of reason, in actions of tolerance. We gather in community to celebrate a heritage of freedom, reason, and tolerance. Our Universalist heritage bids us light our chalice in the name of faith, in the light of hope, in actions of love. We gather in community to celebrate a heritage of faith, hope, and love. Let us bring this Unitarian Universalist heritage into our world and our lives today.
Here is where you can lay it down. Lay down all that you have carried, the weight of the world that has rounded your back, leaving you aching and exhausted. Here is where healing begins, where burdens are set down and alongside one another's, their magnitude does not seem as great. Here is where the door is thrown open and the light can lift away the shadows and what was hidden can now be seen. Here is where you can rest, where nothing is expected but that you bring all of who you are into the presence of the holy and this loving community. Let us worship together. Our opening hymn is number 126 in the gray hymnal, Come Thou Fount. Please rise in spirit or in body.
Tune our hearts to sing thy praise.
Our story this morning is called City Dog, Country Frog. Spring. City Dog didn't stop on that first day in the country. He ran as far and as fast as he could. City Dog spotted something he had never seen sitting on a rock. It was Country Frog. "What are you doing?" asked City Dog. "Waiting for a friend," replied Country Frog with a smile. "But you'll do." City Dog and Country Frog played together. City Dog was new to the country, so Country Frog taught him Country Frog games. Country Frog's games involved jumping and splashing and croaking. That was spring. Summer. City Dog didn't stop to admire the green, green grass. He ran straight for Country Frog's rock. "I'm going to do you a favor," said City Dog when he found Country Frog. "I'm going to teach you City Dog games." City Dog's games involved sniffing and fetching and barking. City Dog and Country Frog played until City Frog was too tired to sniff and fetch and bark anymore. That was summer. Fall. City Dog didn't stop to sniff the falling leaves. He ran straight for Country Frog's rock. "What shall we play today?" asked City Dog. "Dog or frog games?" Country Frog took a deep breath. "I am a tired frog," replied Country Frog. "Maybe we can play remembering games." City Dog and Country Frog sat together on the rock. They remembered their spring, jumping and splashing and croaking. They remembered their summer, sniffing and fetching and barking. That was fall. Winter. City Dog didn't stop to eat the snow. He ran straight for Country Frog's rock. City Dog looked for Country Frog. Country Frog was not there. That was winter. Spring again. Country Chipmunk spotted something she had never seen sitting on a rock. It was City Dog. "What are you doing?" asked Country Chipmunk. "Waiting for a friend," replied City Dog sadly. Then he smiled a froggy smile and said, "But you'll do." Thank you for being good listeners. We'll sing you on your way to religious education.
These words are by Alice Anacheka Nasserman. Let us take a moment to honor the ancestors of this church, the people who first came together to create a home for liberal religion here in Savannah, who worked to raise money for a building, who sat in committee meetings and created bylaws, who chopped and marinated and baked for potlucks, who painted and weeded and pounded nails and washed countless dishes, who gather to worship, to learn, to grieve, to heal, to serve, to build justice, to transform their lives and this world. We are the recipients of an incredible gift and a beautiful vision. Let us do our part to keep this congregation strong, vital, and thriving for the generations to come. To donate via debit or credit card, please use the QR code on the back of the order of worship. You can always mail in checks. We take cash. And you can go to uucsavannah.org if you'd like to give later. Thank you for your generosity. I think I scared you all off. Nobody wrote a joy or concern. So I'll just say it for everybody. And I'll say it again for Kevin, because I think I read it during the announcements rather than the joy. We're so grateful for the poll watchers, the people who are putting in the hours and the work to make this election a success. It's going to be a crazy week, no matter who wins. But again, my joy is that I get to be with you today. If you look at your order of service, let's read some words that celebrate that. Let us hold all our joys and sorrows, spoken and unspoken, in our hearts as we join together in the responsive reading found in your order of service. Sorrow is everywhere, yet joy is reborn. As we mourn together, so we celebrate together and offer thanks. So may it be now, all times to come.
My life goes on in endless song of mother's lamentation. I hear the real me roars. I know the truth that liveth. What though the darkness around me close? Songs in the night that giveth. I hear the wheel of far-off hymn that hails a new creation. It sounds an echo in my soul above earth's lamentation. My life flows on in endless song. How can I keep from singing? No storm can shake my inmost calm. How can I keep from singing? How can I keep from singing? Oh, to the rock I'm clinging. Oh, to the rock. How can I stop singing? Oh, to the rock. I'm clinging to the rock now. Oh, to the rock. Hear me singing. My life flows on in endless song. How can I keep from singing? No storm can shake my inmost calm. How can I keep from singing? My life flows on in endless song. How can I keep from singing? No storm can shake my inmost calm. How can I keep from singing? How can I keep from singing? How can I keep from singing?
Let us enter into a spirit of meditation. The words of meditation this morning from John O'Donohue, Blessing. On the day when weight deadens on your shoulder and you stumble, may the clay dance to balance you. And when your eyes freeze behind the gray window and the ghost of loss gets into you, may a flock of colors, indigo, red, green, and azure blue, come to awaken in you a meadow of delight. When the canvas frays in the current of thought and the stain of ocean blackens beneath you, may there come across the waters a path of yellow moonlight to bring you safely home. May the nourishment of the earth be yours. May the clarity of light be yours. May the fluency of the ocean be yours. May the protection of the ancestors be yours. And so may a slow wind work these words of love around you, an invisible cloak to mind your life. Amen. Before I read the readings this morning, I want to say that tomorrow, the last of my installation thank you notes will go into the mail. But I don't know who gave me the Auspicious Bakery gift card. If you're listening on YouTube, if you're here, thank you very much. Your card is not in the mail. Our first reading this morning from Unitarian Universalist minister Dave McFarland, Practice Repair. Bless generously, curse rarely, practice repair. Read a book or a blog or watch a movie about something or some situation or someone beyond the ability to relate. Practice repair. Lean into comfort zones, strengths, and inklings of bliss. Practice repair. Pause to ask whether words are both skillful and absolutely necessary. Practice repair. Sing full-throated songs that create and recreate beloved community. Practice repair. Let go of stubborn self-righteousness and have mercy. Practice repair. Honor the ancestors who could not have imagined our lives or even our very being. Practice repair. Smile. Practice repair. Multiply joy, divide sorrow. Practice repair. With the tools at hand, practice repair. Perhaps I have tools you could borrow. Perhaps you could lend me from yours, and together we can practice repair. And from Lindsay Turner, Halloween. Some yellow sunflowers open down the street. A ladder is open beneath someone's apple tree. Beneath a dead sky, the contours are flattened, so the land of the dead is closer today. The land of the dead, they say, is closer. But what if my lot lies with the living? Out in the yard, a long-billed bird eats something from dust. Its throat has a dark patch in the shape of a smile, but full, as if its throat had been slit open. But look, the bird is still pecking and alive. Elsewhere, a sports game, ropes of rain come down and open the earth. Here, it's so dry they'd just roll off the dust. But what if my loves, like the bird, are living? What if my loves, like the bird, are living for now? Most of the apples have already fallen. The sunflowers turn into dusty, spiked balls. But what if my land is the land of the living? The bird from the dust takes flight, then turns multiple. A handful of birds rising in the dead sky opened to receive them. But my loves for now are here and living, and I want more of them. Like the bird on the ground, I pick what I need from the dust. Here end the readings. Will you rise now in spirit or in body for our hymn number 396? We will sing this through 2 times. I know this rose will open.
I know
My friend Lisa's dad died just this week past. It was peaceful, she said. We're relieved for him and sad. I remember well that mingled relief and sadness when my own dad died many years ago. Dad had already been on my mind before I got Lisa's text. He loved this first Sunday in November. In his vocabulary and worldview, the end of daylight saving time marked a return to God's time. I know, and he did too intellectually, that standard time to which we returned in the early hours of this morning is as much a human construct as daylight saving time. As a theologian, I believe that all time is God's time. So while I share my dad's fondness for this time of year, my affection for the Sunday closest to the 1st of November has more to do with this being a sacred season. The last days of October, the first days of November are recognized in many Latin American cultures, pre-Christian European cultures, and Christianity as a time to remember, honor, celebrate those we love who have died. Some say the veil between the living and the dead is thin at this season, and communication is possible between those who dwell in one realm and those who dwell in the other. In this room and among those worshiping on YouTube Live, we probably have a couple dozen different beliefs, at least, about death and life after death, and about whether or not, in the words of Barago Diop, adapted by Sweet Honey in the Rock, those who have died have never, never left. The dead have a pact with the living. I myself don't know one way or the other about the thinness of the veil between the realms at this particular time. But I do know this about holy times and holidays. They exist, at least in part, to give us a discrete, culturally crafted and defined segment of time in which to explore, honor, celebrate, and bless experiences and emotions that might occur or be present any time of the year, but which also may be too overwhelming for us to enter into fully on any given Thursday afternoon or Monday midnight. People we know, cherish, and love die when they die, in March, and August, and May. We hold funerals and memorial services, write obituaries, send cards, mourn when the deaths come to pass, and then forever after, moments of grief, anger, sadness, relief, bittersweet memory drop into our days and nights at predictable and random times. But we can't always give those emotions free rein. Neither can we be entirely successful at summoning them on demand, of course, so that when the anniversaries of deaths or the birthdays of the dead roll around, we're sad or bittersweet on cue. Nevertheless, or because of this truth, in their wisdom, as I've just said, many cultures author these autumn days as a season to pay attention to invite in the memories and the emotions that might elude us or swamp us other times of the year. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes, communal observances with sounds, symbols, rituals, and companionship draw our hearts open more easily than private practices. In just a moment, I'll invite you up to light a candle and speak the names of your beloved dead, recent or long since. We don't have time to hear their stories, but we do want to hear their names spoken in your loving voices. Roxana will light the first two candles. One for Helen Lina, a longtime member of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Savannah, who died July 5th, 2024. One for Philippa Pattison, also a longtime member of our congregation, who died October 2nd, 2024. The families of both these cherished women decided to mark their deaths with private graveside ceremonies. We respect these as the right decisions for those families. Yet as a community, we mourn the loss of Helen and of Philippa, and we honor their role in our congregation and our lives by speaking their names aloud here this morning. The ritual of candle lighting and naming is part of this morning's sermon, not separate from it. The sermon will then continue in the more familiar format after everyone who has lit a candle. Everyone who wishes to do so has lit a candle. If you're worshiping at home, I hope you'll light a candle where you are, and we'll light a candle at the end for all the candles we can't see here in this space. Please come forward as you are moved to do so. Light your candle and speak the names of your beloved now departed. And please do use the microphone so those worshiping remotely can hear you.
I'm lighting a candle for both of my grandparents, Larry Hartel and Nancy Hartel.
This is for Peggy Sims.
This is for my mom and dad and sister, Pat Mober, Bill Mober, and Judy Mober.
This is for David Coward, my husband and their dad.
Dave Carter, also known as Poppy.
My parents, Solomon and Enriqueta.
This candle's for Charlie and Hilda Honekel, my mom and dad.
For my mother, Ella Marie, and her mother, Inez Marie.
This is for Liz, my wife.
This is for my father, Jerry Preston Morgan, and my, my son, James William Newman IV.
This is for my parents, Daniel Baldwin Alexander and Lee Goodwin Alexander.
This is for each of my parents, Buddy and Barbara Erickson.
This is for my old friend Charlie Kraft. I miss our animated and wide-ranging philosophical talks.
This is for my sister, Sheila.
This is for my grandfather, who was really my father, Richard Spagnolo.
This is for my parents, George and Helen Koch, and my son, John Koch.
For my parents, Larry and Bev Gomes, and also for our friend Deb Brenner at the UU in Athens.
This is for Big Fur and White Toe this week. My mom, Catherine Elizabeth Norton. Miss Betty. My dad, Christopher Robinson, and Audrey.
I light this candle for my daughter, Maura Lee Williams.
Lighting this candle for my mom and dad, Joe and Jean, and for my sister Sue, and for the ancestors. Oops.
This is for my father, Charles Schaefer.
This is for my grandparents, Dwayne and Joan Holcomb, and my dad, Michael Bracken.
This is for my mother and father, my father, John Granado, and my mother, Lori Granado.
For my mom, Idam Marie Fennis.
This is for my grandmother, Joanne Lindblad.
This is in loving memory of my parents, Marion and George Bale.
This is in memory of my mother and father, Mildred and Haskell Cato, and for my son, Jonathan Cato. This is not going to be easy.
This is in honor of my family members, Lucille Dixon, Marcia Lowry, Richard Dixon, and my two friends who passed this year, Ginger Carter and Tracy Ness.
For two friends I lost this year, Gary Drescher and Marilyn Cullivan.
This is from my wife, Deborah Lazarus, my parents, Stanley and Iris Lazarus, and my friends and musical collaborators, Paul Smith and Jeffrey Roop.
This is for my father, George Lamb, and my aunt, Betty Boyd, their brother and sister.
I light this candle for my father, Abel Rivera, and my brother, Jose Rivera.
This is from my friend, my sister Patty, and my friend John O'Connor.
Donna K. Peterson, thank you.
This is for my brother, Thomas Fox, my mother, Irene Thomas Fox Davis, and my father, George Edmund Fox. I don't know where to put it.
For my mother and father, Judy and Leon Tipton.
Blessed be their memories. I said a little bit ago that one of the reasons for holidays and holy times is to give us a container in space and time for experiences and emotions that are often too big for ordinary days and time. Another reason for holidays and holy times is to offer us concerted practices of rituals and other ways of engaging our feelings and our spirits, so that when joy, which isn't limited to Christmas or Easter, or liberation, which isn't limited to Juneteenth or Passover, or gratitude, which isn't limited to Thanksgiving, when these emotions arise, our spiritual and emotional muscles are in good shape and ready to respond because we practice them on those holidays. In most memorial services, I reflect on unfinished business, saying something like, "Death leaves things unfinished. Jack and Jill and Jovan have unfinished business with Rupert. The trip they planned to the old country, the family charitable foundation still not off the ground. You each have your own unfinished business with Rupert. Books you will now never get to discuss, the apology never accepted, the forgiveness never offered, laughs you didn't get to share, words of love said but not often enough, friends and lovers, spouses and children and grandchildren you'll never get to introduce to him now, things you thought you had more time for. Death comes into our lives, I say on those occasions, with no grand meaning to ease the pain. Rupert died only because the human body is as frail as it is resilient, and the art and science of medicine are as limited as they are wondrous. Rupert didn't die because God had better plans for him or needed him in heaven or wanted to teach us something. Nevertheless, Rupert's death brings the reminder that we have unfinished business with everyone we love. Words to speak, risks to take, truths to tell, favors to grant, walks and meals and quiet hours, questions to ask, songs to sing, and dances to dance, reconciliations to forge. Now is the time. Rupert has died, we yet live. So let us live fully, gratefully, playfully, prayerfully, joyfully live. I believe this is a good and important reminder, and I will continue to include it in memorial services. But those occasions find us fraught with grief or frozen with the need to get through the day, and I fear my invitation to attend to the unfinished business often goes unabsorbed. These autumn days, so holy in so many faith traditions, offer us a space and a time for practicing the repair that can come through attending to unfinished business. In the hours that come, as the memories of the ones you named float in and out of your consciousness, consider the repair you wish you had undertaken while they were still alive, and then allow your thoughts to turn to the repair that needn't be left unfinished. Many, though not all, Unitarian Universalists would say that the concept of the thinning of the veil and the opportunity for communication between the living and the dead are comforting metaphors, perhaps, but nothing more. What is certain, however, is that this season, if we choose to make the metaphor and the poetry work for us, can be a time of deliberate thinning of any veils that obscure interaction and communication between living individuals, between living communities. What if, in this season of All Saints and All Souls and Dia de los Muertos, our lot lies with the living? How then shall we practice repair? Amen. Please rise in spirit or in body for our hymn number 168, One More Step. Bless generously, curse rarely. Sing full-throated songs that create and recreate beloved community. Let go of stubborn self-righteousness and have mercy. Honor the ancestors who could not have imagined our lives or even our very being. Multiply joy, divide sorrow. With these and all the tools at hand, let us practice repair. Amen.
Amen.